Right, welcome to another lesson in High School ICT. In this lesson we want to look at pagination. You might ask, what does that mean? Basically it's the ability to divide a document up into different parts, different pages, different sections, etc. And we are going to look at page breaks and section breaks. In page breaks you get a hard and a soft page break. Soft page break is basically when you come to the end of the page and you carry on typing in the computer, or the software automatically bumps you onto the next page, whether it's page 2 or 10 or 12. And a hard page break is where you physically go and click and insert a page break to go onto a new page, because you might have come to the end of the particular page. What a lot of people do is they click enter multiple times to get to the bottom of the page to go onto a new page. We can actually just insert a page break, which makes life a lot easier, especially if you are then going to be formatting your page, changing the the paragraph and line spacing, and you highlight your whole document, and if you have clicked enter to go onto a new page, that's going to alter text on page 2 or 10 or 12. In section breaks we have the next page, which basically creates a new section and moves you onto a new page. We have continuous, that keeps the break but on the same page, and then we have even and odd page breaks. So I'm going to demonstrate how all of these work. Pause the video as you go along in order to practice what I've done. That's quite important, that you watch, stop, go back, watch again, pause the video, try it yourself, and then play it again if you're still not 100% sure what to do. Alright, so for this purpose I've created 4 pages, or should I say 4 paragraphs. I've called it page 1 to 4 for demonstration purposes. So let's go and insert first of all what we call the hard page break. There are 2 places to do that. On insert you can click page break, or in layout we have our page set up and we go to breaks. You had seen in the previous video how we insert a column break to move data from one column to the next, whether it's a heading or whatever it might be. So over here I'm going to click page break, and you can see that page 2 has popped onto page 2. Right, so you might ask, well, what's the difference between a page break and then the section break, whether it's next page or continuous? The difference is, or the reason for that, is that if I click orientation, I click landscape, all my pages, if I use a page break, are going to be in landscape orientation. With the section break, I can then only change the one page. So for example, I want page 3 to be in landscape, and I want page 1, 2 and 4 to be portrait. Then I would use my next section break. So it divides each page into a section, and they stand alone and can be formatted separately. So let's go and do that. At the end of paragraph 2, I'm going to go to breaks and I'm going to click next page. Okay. And then I'm going to go at the end of page 3 and I'm going to insert the next page 2. So now I have my 4 pages, and if I go to page 3 and I want to make page 3, let's say I'm going to insert a table of some sort, and I want page 3 to be landscaped, then what I'll do is over here click on orientation, landscape. You can see only page 3 changes to landscape, and page 4 and page 1 and page 2 remain in portrait. The other thing that I might want to do is change my header, and again in my top margin, if I double click, it brings up my header tab, header and footer tab. There it is, and you can see in my navigation bar I have linked to previous. So in other words, if I go to page 2 and I put a header in, I'm going to call this page 2 for now, you will see that page 3 also has page 2. Now In order to separate this, I'm going to click link to previous, and I'm going to say this is page 3. But now you will see that page 2 and page 1 have the same header. Page 3 has a separate header, but page 4 has the same header as page 3. The reason for that is that these two are now still linked, so I need to go to page 4 and click link to previous to take it off and change this to page 4. There's page 3, there's page 2, and page 1 has the same header. I want that different, so again onto page 2. I've got it off, so over here, page 1, but now strangely it's still keeping page 1 and page 2, and if I go to page 2, and it won't allow me to link to previous, and the reason for that is, if you remember at the beginning, I put a page break in. So if I deleted this page break, I go to page 1 and I delete my page break. Come on, let's delete that. There we go. I click enter, and I put in that layout, and I put in breaks, and I put next page, and I click over here. Now you can see it gets linked to the previous section, because at the beginning, as I said, I used the hard page break, and therefore any pages following that cannot be changed. But then if you remember, I change page from page 2 onwards, I use section breaks. So I took the hard break out, I put a section break in, I say link to previous, I go to page 1, I'll make that a 1, and you can see page 2 header, page 3 header, and its landscape, and page 4 has its own separate header. I might want to make page 1 portrait, not portrait, but landscape orientation as well, and there we go, and page 2 is different. So that's how our section breaks work. Okay, we want to look at what happens when we insert the breaks for an even page and an odd page. Okay, so we're back to our original start. So over here, I'm going to click again on my layout tab in my page setup, breaks, and I'm going to insert even and odd. Okay, so I'm going to insert an even page, and you can see page 2 is sitting on an even page. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to insert another even page and see what happens to the page numbering. So page 3 should go to an odd page, but I'm going to insert even page. So if I click on here, this is page 2, this is page 4, and what has happened is that page 3 has disappeared, because it should have been an odd page that followed. So we had page 1, we had page 2, this should have been page 3, but I chose to put in page 4. So if I go to page 4 and I go to my breaks, this should be, I click odd page, then you can see that is page 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, Control C, and make this page 5 over there. Now if I insert, I should be inserting an even page, but I'm going to insert another odd page. Okay, so you've got page 7, this is page 5, and again page 6 is missing. So what you see happening is that if you've got an odd page and you need to insert an even page, but you insert another odd page, it skips the even page. what we would normally do is simply assign each page to odd and even depending, page 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I would do is over here I'd go to break and I would say, sorry, not over here, to page 2, I would go and say break, and that must be even, and page 3 break, and that must be odd, and page 4 break, and that must be even. Right, in our next lesson we are going to look at text enhancement and how we format our text. So go and practice this. As I said, press pause, try it out, go back, watch it again, and keep practicing. That's the only way that we achieve success. Till next time then.